So guys, breaking news, NIO CEO actually bought an XPENG X9. Why not buy another NIO? We'll answer that question later on. But he actually took delivery of his X9 today at the NIO store next to the factory, NIO's factory in Hefei. And XPENG CEO hand delivered this car to him. And it is, of course, an MPV. And it is, NIO doesn't offer an MPV yet, but you can clearly tell this is great promotion for XPENG. That someone else, another electric car company's CEO buys their car instead of their own car. Well, why? Why is this happening? Well, also, today, NIO CEO showcased NIO's swap network to XPENG CEO. And they talked about how right now they got 2,400 swap stations all across the country. And XPENG CEO said once they reach about 5,000, that's when XPENG is going to join them for battery swap. So it's quite a far ways off, actually. So NIO CEO actually already has 3 NIOs. He has an ET5 in Shanghai that he just drives because it's kind of convenient, and he drives that most of the time. He has an ET7 in Hefei because sometimes he's got to be there. That's a manufacturing base. Shanghai is the headquarters, and then his home is in Beijing, so he has an ES8 in Beijing. And last time that he's reported about this, he said he had a first-gen ES8, the Founders Edition ES8. But then afterwards, he wanted to get his wife's permission to upgrade to the second-gen ES8. So, interesting. He really listens to his wife. So I wonder if his wife gave the green light to buy the XPENG X9, which is kind of interesting. But something you'll notice is that XPENG, they actually closed down almost all their stores. This store right here that you're seeing, this is from footage from back in 2021. That was actually the peak in XPENG stock price and also NIO stock price back then. But you can tell this store actually no longer exists. All right, it's something else there. They actually do not have any physical stores, almost no physical stores. They only have a few, mostly franchise stores that some investors can invest in. Dealerships, all right, dealerships. So it's kind of interesting. The strategy has really shifted, very different from what NIO's doing. NIO's still going ham on the physical stores, whereas XPENG has shifted pretty much everything to dealers, dealerships, franchises. So it's a very interesting shift in strategy. Now this NIO CEO buying their car, there is probably a discount to it. So back a while ago when they had the 100 EV CEO conference. So it was like 100 important CEOs in the industry. They had this conference. NIO CEO was sitting next to XPENG CEO, and they were talking about their new X9. And NIO CEO was kind of impressed by it and wanted to test drive and asked how much he can get for a discount. And apparently, XPENG CEO said he'll pay for half of the car out of his own pocket. So XPENG CEO most likely paid for half of the cost of the car, and NIO CEO paid the rest. So there's probably a big discount for NIO CEO to get this car. And I mean, like, it makes sense. But at the other end of the spectrum, it just doesn't look good when your CEO is sitting in a competitor's vehicle and not your own, especially if it's such a close competitor. Can you imagine Elon Musk sitting in a Volkswagen ID every time he's going around? I mean, like, yeah, you get the point, right? So it's hard to see. Is he gonna be riding this car in Hefei? And I mean, it is definitely a comfortable car. There's no question about that. The XPENG X9 is a fantastic vehicle, and for the bang for the buck, that MPV is definitely the winner for the bang for the buck, right? But it's not a good look, right? It's not a good look. Like, he should have just, purchased another ES8, second gen ES8 as his other vehicle. I mean, he said himself when he launched the ES8 that the ES8 is the best replacement for MPV. right? And ES8 is very comfortable, etc. So it's very interesting to see him do that. Perhaps he just wanted to honor his friend. But will this backfire? We'll have to see. I mean, hopefully he rides in his NIO more. I'm sure a lot of other people within NIO are also wondering, like, oh, come on, you should be riding in a NIO and not in an XPENG, right? And this is definitely gonna give XPENG investors a lot of confidence, right? But I'm not sure if it's gonna give NIO investors a lot of confidence. You get my point? But to be absolutely fair, XPENG CEO is also a stockholder, a NIO stockholder, because of the fact that back when NIO stock was extremely low, XPENG actually helped out NIO a lot by buying stock in their company. So in that aspect, XPENG really helped NIO when they were going through some difficulties. So I guess this is NIO CEO repaying the favor, helping XPENG CEO promote that X9 vehicle, which is absolutely fantastic. And I guess, there's NIO CEO's way of doing things is always like friendly competition. Yes, we're competing, the sales reps in the front line, they're competing, but at top, we're all CEOs, we're all good friends. Yeah. And obviously the Envo's L60, that's going to really, really hurt XPENG. All right. Especially XPENG with their G6. The G6 already isn't selling that well, but this is probably going to just knock G6 out. It's going to really hurt Tesla Model Y. And it's going to be very interesting to see the kind of damage that Envo does to these other EV makers here in China. I mean, like right now, NIO's market cap $10.9 billion US dollars, XPENG's market cap $7.7 billion US dollars. So it could be seen like NIO helping out the little brother now, repaying the favor. And I guess it could be a show of confidence. They're so confident in their own cars. NIO's so confident in his own cars that, it's fine to buy someone else's car, a friend's car, just to see what it's all about and help them out a little bit. Also, perhaps do some research, do some learning, because soon NIO's going to launch their own MPV. So NIO could get their own team to look at what makes the XPENG X9 so great and try to do it even better. All right. And that's something that a lot of companies do. They analyze their cars, but just never this publicly. All right. It's never done this publicly. So I guess XPENG shareholders can really be happy, right? Shows confidence in their company. And I guess NIO shareholders shouldn't really be upset about this. NIO CEO already has 3 NIOs, and he needs an MPV to chauffeur him around. And this is the car for it. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.